Telecom's giant MTN says it will explore all available options after an Accra High Court on Tuesday dismissed its application seeking to quash a directive by the NCA to classify it as a significant market player in the telecommunications industry. My colleague Joy has been going through a statement by MTN and has this update.
According to MTN, despite the concerns raised, it still has full confidence in the country's judiciary. Added that having had their day in court, they would want to refrain from making further statements and comment on the matter at this moment, whilst it looks at the next step available to them. It noted that it acknowledges the duty and powers of the National Communications Authority to promote fair competition among licensed operators in the sector. But however, insists that MTN's challenge was on procedural grounds, maintaining that the National Communications Authority's decision lacked fairness. The High Court of Justice Commercial Court Division on September 1 dismissed MTN's application for a judicial review of the declaration of it as a significant market player. Well, it is however not clear for now whether the Telecom's joint is going to appeal, even though it has shown some clear signs that it is not satisfied with the ruling. The Telecom's giant in its media review noted that the new regulation, if implemented, will significantly affect its profit, growth, and also affect some services that it offers to the public.
Kusia Piadomako, Center Coordinator for CAT International, joins us with some perspective on this market situation. Thank you very much, Mr. Adomako. Now, when MTN says it will explore options, what options do you suggest? But before then, let me ask this question. Why should it matter to anybody when NCA says that MTN is a significant market player and so it is seeking to break it apart?
Thank you very much, Israel. I think MTN has been described as a significant market player based on the Electronic Communications Act of 2008. The law states that when a service provider gets to a certain threshold, then you've gone beyond the level whereby we should allow the market forces to determine how you price your things. So when you get to that level, then you are subjected to a regulation. So, for example, if you look at the public utilities, electricity and water, their prices are regulated because there is no competition between ECG or other providers of electricity. If we were to allow ECG to price its prices, what it means is that ECG can charge monopoly prices. They can charge excessive prices. So we have an intermediary, which is the regulator, PURC, which regulates the pricing of utility products in this country. Now, before MTN reached a significant market player, that time the regulator, the NCA, had nothing to do about it because this is a free market. However, we have what we call market failures and other externalities. So whenever a market tips to a certain point, then a regulator needs to come in to do some form of regulation to ensure that they are able to clear and make the level playing field even for everybody, so that other players in the industry, that is Airtel, Tigo, Vodafone Ghana, and even consumers, will not suffer unduly, because when a firm has a dominance, a firm can abuse their dominance. I'm not saying that MTN is abusing its dominance, but there's a lot of evidence worldwide to show that when firms have this dominance, then they tend to abuse it. So what regulators do is to ensure that they kind of place certain caps on how you charge some of your services, so that the interoperability and interconnectivity will be able to function smoothly.
Right, so from what you're saying, this should benefit the consumer.
It should benefit the consumer. It should also benefit other providers. But I think that for me also, I also hold a balanced view that we also need to be very fair to MTN, because MTN reached where it is now, not through any unfair business practice, but through investment, foresight, and hard working. And the question that we should also ask ourselves, what has been the level of investment of the other operators that they all, close their investment portfolios in the country and allow MTN, because MTN believes in the market. And it's like examination. Somebody believes that if I learn hard, I can get an A. and somebody wants 45% of 45. I mean, all pass be passed. So if the person gets 40, he's fine. So at the end of the day, it will be also unfair to say that, look, those who got 90, let's give some of your marks to those who have below 40 so that they can pass. I think the regulator also needs to have a two-edged sword. One, also telling other firms, the other players, to also step up their investment, their R&D, because even if they allow this, they come up with the measures, and then the other service providers do not step up their investment in the sector, in about 5 years or 4 years from now, we'll come back to the same conversation. So I think that the licensing agreement that the regulator gives to the providers, they need to ensure and monitor that they do investment in the country. I also blame our own government because, for example, when you look at the Vodafone Ghana, government of Ghana has a share in it, and since the government sold it to Vodafone and keeping its share, government has not made any substantial investment into Vodafone. So if government had also invested in it, perhaps we would not be having this conversation. So I think we need to be very balanced in this issue.
All right. What are the options available to MTN?
I think MTN, of course, the Constitution allows everybody the right to go to appeal, which is also their right to do so. But I think that the best option for me, if MTN were to seek my unsolicited opinion, I'll ask MTN to go back and dialogue with the regulator, because at the end of the day, they will still be the one who will be holding the regulatory, gavel on you. So you can go back and, back and forth, agree and come to a conclusion so that your share prices, will not go down, because in some markets, some of these things can easily cause your share price to fall down. Here, markets are not that sensitive. But I think that negotiation and dialogue is the way to go.
How much of all of this has to do with somebody deciding to come after MTN?
I do not share in that argument, because this is, it's a threshold. So, for example, if you go to hospital, the doctor will not say that, look, Israel, because you sit on television station, you must be having a high blood pressure. When your blood pressure is, let's say, 110/70, do you get it? There's a way of measuring blood pressure, and there's a standard. There's a categories that classify someone as as hypertensive. And so the fact that MTN has made that definition, that criteria, it qualifies to be called a significant player, SMP. But the big issue is this: MTN attained this new category long time, not this year, many years ago. So what was the Ministry of Communications and the regulator doing that they kept quiet and allow MTN to grow and grow and grow and grow to this level? Now you want MTN to shared weight, which for me, you are also not being fair to the person. If you're a medical doctor and a patient comes to you on a regular basis, and you see that the person is increasing body mass index, weight, don't wait for the person to get to, the danger zone and ask the person to shed, let's say, 80 kg within a period of 2 months. When you do so, you cause more damage to the body. Yeah. So I think that the regulator is supposed to have taken this action long ago. In that way, it would have been so substantial to MTN to manage. But right. I think that it's better late than never. And we have best practices worldwide where regulators have taken these measures to restore a level playing field for both consumers and other competitors in the market. All
right, thank you very much, Kwesi Appiah-Adomako is Center Coordinator at CAT International. Of course, the other option is for MTN to also pursue the legal route.